And back here live at CMA Fest 2024, of course, here inside the Music City Center, Fanfare X. We got the Dolly Rush this morning. Dolly Parton, too, trying to go out the doors to get over here to the media room, too, at the same time. And just the smash of a crowd came through, almost got run over, went out a side door, and actually found where we're at right now, the current spot here on KKTC. True Country 99.9 and our friends at hightidecountry.net. And rolling on there, too, as well, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Have a heart for a hero. We found her, Cynthia Renee, here at CMA Fest 2024. How you doing?
Doing wonderful. How you doing today?
It's been good, and I guess as the adrenaline wears off tonight, we'll finally get some sleep and much needed downtime.
Hopefully so. And you got any time change where you're from in Texas?
No, it's on Central.
See, I'm coming from California, so I'm gonna be like getting in about 11:45, and it's gonna feel like 2 a.m.
You're flying back tonight. I commend you for that too as well. Again, we're 3 days here inside the Music City Center, and of course tonight Whiskey Bent from 6 to 9 with our friends at Nashville Universe, Craig Wayne Boyd, and a lot of talent out there too. Come on out, have some drinks with us tonight. We'll be broadcasting from there, and then on Sunday backstage at the Grand Ole Opry for the 42nd annual Sunday morning country hosted by the legend Brenda Lee too as well. Have a heart for a hero. Let's tell us all about this one.
So Have a Heart for a Hero came about because I am an ambassador for Hearts for Heroes USA. And what they do is they provide emotional support dogs for first responders, veterans, things like that. Because as you know, it's very traumatic to have to go in and rescue, family in a fire or whatever they do on a daily basis. There's going to be some emotional stuff that they have to process, and these dogs are trained to just be a companion to them, and they can come back to the firehouse, and they got their dog to play with and just kind of let off some steam. And so that's the whole goal of Hearts for Heroes USA, and that's how the song came about. And we're going to be working on a music video pretty soon to go with that, so it's going to be really fun.
Looking forward to that too. Now this is a crazy week here, and I just love it because this is like the Super Bowl of country music here, because it's everybody who's anybody comes here too. And I love country radio seminar, but this is another level for CMA Fest too. And I love the fact you get all the stages, but it's so cool, Cynthia, to give back to the fans, because the fans are the ones that stream the music, buy the records, come to the shows, and to show that appreciation is phenomenal.
It is. And for a little gal from Cali, coming out here to Tennessee and actually having a line of people coming to see you that have heard your songs on the radio. I mean, it's heartwarming. And that's really what it's about. Like you said, it's those people that they take the time, they still call up the stations, request a song, and they'll send you messages and positivity. And that's just what keeps me going. I got a song right now that's broke into the top 100, the Country Music Row breakout charts. And I know it's because of the fans out there that have gotten that song up there. It's called Good on Me. If you want to listen for it, it's a great song.
We'll have to play it out there too on KKTC too as well on our morning call-ins too. I mentioned Dolly this morning too, but it's so great to see this movement now of female country artists. I call it girl power or whatever you want, women empowerment, getting there. Every dog has its day, but every lady getting the respect they deserve. And once, as I began radio and back in the 90s, what once was and maybe still is a male-dominated industry. But you look at Lainey Wilson, Carly Pierce, Ashley McBride, all these great ladies, Ashley Cook, Hannah Ellis, and Megan Maroney. This is a pretty cool time to be a female country artist.
It absolutely is. And, Dolly Parton was one of my biggest inspirations from when I was yay high. So, to be following in her footsteps. And then, like you said, the more recent groundbreakers like Lainey Wilson, who absolutely is an amazing storyteller. It's time. It's time to have the women highlighted. And I'm excited for that. In fact, I have to tell you, last night I was at the Grand Ole Opry. Mm-hmm. Jelly Roll was there, Cody Johnson. But who was playing guitar was Wanda Birchfield, who just played guitar with me on 4 of my songs this week that we were tracking. So talk about a small world. And, they were spotlighting in on her. And I'm like, that's my girl. So girl power.
I wanted to make that show last night, too, because I know one of our previous guests, Struggle Jennings, made his Opry debut last night.
He did. Yep. And he did a song with Jelly Roll, and they were great together. I mean, those two, they have a story, man. They could probably sit you down with a bottle of whiskey, and, man, you'd go through that, and they'd have about 100 stories they could tell you. For sure.
Congrats to Struggle, man. He was on just with us last week, and what a storyteller. And that new album, El Camino, is kicking some ass out there right now, too, as well. You mentioned some of those artists that kind of shaped you, too, at the same time. When you look back at it, too, the Dollies, and we talked about the women kind of empowerment movement, too. But 90s country, I think there's a little flair of that coming back now when you look at it, too, because everybody turned on the radio and remembers the Garth and George Strait, Waylon Willie, and just all these great artists that came into the 90s, John Michael Montgomery, Tracy Lawrence, Clay Walker. I mean, the names go on and on. For you, was that a special time for you too?
I've always had a little bit of a rock edge, so I was probably in that era leaning listening to like Melissa Etheridge a little bit more and stuff like that. But I always like my Shania Twain too. We got some Shania. I got a little bit of a mix in there, but I'm kind of a little country rock. So my inspiration has been a lot of rock, but also country too. So I'm probably more, if you would consider me, a more modern country, I guess, because it does tend to have a little more of the rock. But I do love that you can line dance to the 90s country. So, yeah.
There's plenty of those out there too, no doubt, which is great out there too. Tell us what's coming up when you get back home. Of course, I know you guys never rest on your laurels. There's always new shows coming up, and music you guys are working on in the studio for new singles or maybe a full length album or EP. Tell us about that.
I'm working on an album. I'm hoping to get it done this year and maybe release it hopefully early next year, but we'll see. We know how those timelines go. But we just tracked 4 new songs. It was amazing. I had Gordon Mote on piano. I don't know if you know who he is, but he is one of the top guitar or piano players, and just some great people on that. And yeah, we got to get it in, get it mixed. And then we got about 4 more songs to put on there, and hopefully another new release coming up. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Stay tuned for that too as well. Now, in your downtime when not doing music, what are some of your favorite just hobbies to kind of go after and do some fun stuff?
Probably go listen to music, which sounds crazy, but I never get to do it. So it's like, when I have the chance, and it's been nice because being out here in Nashville, I don't have my normal stuff I have to do. So in the evenings, that we go watch music, and it's just fun to like, listen to the different stories going on, listen to the different types of music, because Nashville has a lot of different kinds of music. It's not just country. So I would say, going to concerts, going to wine tasting, because California has a lot of great areas for wine tasting. So Napa, that's a big one. And yeah, just, hanging out with some friends, having a little family time. I'm a homebody when it comes to downtime with the music. So
You love wine, so I've never been out to Napa, but I love California. But you've got to come down. I'm sure you've heard of it. Another wine country, little town down there, Fredericksburg, Texas. If you've never been, just outside San Antonio, a couple hours away there too. There's a rock there called Enchanted Rock that people can hike out there and just have fun and ride bikes and just go on a nature walk. But it is kind of those wine tasting type of country. If you ever get down to Fredericksburg, Texas, don't forget that.
Okay, well, I have to say where I'm from is more of we're Sacramento area, but there's a place called Amador County. Amador County is now becoming the new Napa, is what they say, because a lot of the Napa wineries, they're breaking out. They're doing these smaller venues, and it's in the foothills. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you ever come our way, you can go to Amador and visit the wineries there, and you'll save a little money, because Napa is pretty pricey.
Yeah, I've heard it is out there too as well. And like Fredericksburg gets that way too, but Texas is just as beautiful. And I'm kind of like you, the wine connoisseur, whiskey connoisseur too. I don't really do beer too much anymore.
I'm not much beer either. It's all wine for me, baby.
Be on the lookout for new music coming up. Cynthia Renee, appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much.
Got to hear from the backstage pass, more CMA Fest 2024 interviews coming up here live from the Music City Center in Nashville, Tennessee at CMA Fest 2024 rolls on, presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix live at KKTC True Country 99.9 and also HighTideCountry.net. Stay tuned for more.